Hello, everybody. I am going live just a little bit early, like 5 minutes early, because I'm getting a little bit nervous that the power might blow. And even though this live is not a deep dive, this is literally just a snow day fun live I last minute put up. I didn't want it to like blow in the middle of our live stream. I didn't want to freak people out. If it does, if the power does blow in the middle of our live stream, the live stream shuts down. That's why it's the weather. Although according to my weather app, it looks like our snow is going to come a little bit later. For most of my American audience, I think there's like 35 states that are involved in this, what they're calling the storm of the century, which again, I think it's a little early in the century to be labeling it as such. I did today get our Monday mystery episode up already loaded. So in case I lose power, there should, for those who have power, there should be a Monday mystery. It's almost like 3 hours. It's like 2.5 hours, maybe a little over 2.5 hours. That's going to be dropping on Monday. Todd and I also have some lives that we want to do regarding Laura Knight and the Cassiopeans. Todd has some reaction videos he wants to do with more of her shows with Jay Campbell. And of course, we are going to be starting to schedule our members only lives as well. Unfortunately, because of what's going on this week, it might get pushed back a week because we don't really know what's going to happen, right? Like, especially down here in the South, I know our northern neighbors get this kind of weather all the time, but down here in the South, I was laughing with Jonathan Mitchell, who I filmed with yesterday for Monday. He's in Alabama. And I don't think people understand that here in the South, first of all, our state income taxes, they're not going to spend that money on snow equipment because we never get snow. So it's a kind of a waste of money for us. So like each city in the South has like, hello, Dragonfly. Each city in the South will have like one salt truck and most of them are broken. So we'll see what happens for you guys. Hello, Midwest Night Watchers, two people who are used to crazy weather. But I wanted to let you guys know, since I'm a little early anyway, for my, if you are in the Atlanta area, or not, because tomorrow everything's going to be virtual if we have power. So on Sunday mornings, I typically teach an Ashtanga class at Sacred Garden Yoga at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. My friend Cindy, who's on the show quite a bit, she is the owner of Sacred Garden Yoga. But because of the uncertainty of what's going on with our weather, we have decided that tomorrow's 8:30 a.m. class is going to be virtual only. Again, if I lose power, then obviously the class will get canceled. But for those who want to join, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys before we get into the topic at hand. The website to Sacred Garden Yoga. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I have it pulled up, but here it is. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let me see here, guys. Here it is, right there. So I will put the website in the, I'll pin the comments as soon as we get done with the live. But here is the website right here. So you'll just go to the Ashtanga Led Primary virtual. It's only virtual only. There's no in-live classes tomorrow. Hello, Roger and Lisa. And you can book through the virtual and it will be through a Zoom link. So I'll be teaching you from my home, again, weather permit. Like obviously we're doing it virtually because of the weather. But if it does, if we do lose power, then I will text Cindy as soon before my phone dies and let them let her know my power is out so that we can just go ahead and cancel the class. But again, if you want to join us virtually from, it's 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Hello, Peggy. Yes, I have not been outside today. Todd took Ravi out this morning, but I'm watching it after I get done with this live. I am going to try to go out to the store one more time just to get a few more things just in case. We do have a hell of a week ahead of us. It's kind of funny because nothing's happened yet. And I kind of feel like everybody's all hyped up now to have a few days off from work. So I know a lot of businesses have already closed down for a few days, that they just got to kind of give us the snow day anyway. So I know Robbie, my dog, is going to be very upset if it snows. He gets very mad at us if it's too cold outside. But so with that being said, you guys, let's get into it, because one of my on Thursday, we did a live coffee chat with one of my besties, Catherine, over the Traitors. She is my only friend that actually watches the Traitors. And the shitty thing about it is, what really sucks is that she's in the UK and I'm in the United States. And so we both the UK and the United States have season 4 running, but they're different cast. So the cast of the Traitors kind of controls the show. So we really can't talk about it because we're not watching the same show, even though it's season 4, it's the same concept. Once we finish our respective seasons, they then switch and send it. But I was like, I have got to talk to people because Todd won't even watch it with me. He will not watch it with me. Now, with that being said, if you don't know anything about Traitors, I am going to play the opening that I played with Catherine on Thursday. So just ignore, because I'm doing this last minute and I pulled a bunch of stuff for the show, but just ignore in this opening where I said Catherine and I are about to talk about it. It's going to be just us talking about it. So I am going to play the opening though, just so you guys kind of have a bit of an idea of why this show is so intense and so interesting and why it's so psychological. So hold on one second, guys. Just bear through another opening. Here we go. The Traitors is a psychological reality competition that blends strategy, trust, and deception into one of the most gripping social experiments on television. Set in a remote atmospheric location, a group of contestants must work together to build a shared prize fund, while secretly, a small number of players are chosen as traitors, whose goal is to sabotage the group from within. The remaining players, known as the Faithfuls, must rely on intuition, observation, and group dynamics to identify and eliminate the traitors before it's too late. Each episode is driven by tense missions, secret alliances, dramatic roundtable discussions, and a shocking elimination that keep both the players and the audience constantly guessing. Both the UK and the US versions of the Traitors follows the same core format, but offer distinct cultural flavors, gameplay styles, and personalities. The UK edition leans heavily into psychological tension and subtle social maneuvering, while the US version adds high-energy personalities, strategic boldness, and celebrity-driven drama. At its core, The Traitors explores human behavior under pressure, how trust is formed, how paranoia spreads, and how power shifts when deception becomes a winning strategy. Whether you're drawn to mind games, social strategy, or dramatic reveals, The Traitors stands out as one of the most compelling reality competition shows of recent years. And this is what Catherine Edwards and I find so interesting, because it mirrors our own global development over these past few years. Oh my God, you guys, and the drama. Okay, so I've been a fan of The Traitors since season 1, but after listening the other day, I started, what's fantastic is that we get like all of the countries' traitors. So once you fall in love with one season, you can go and watch other countries, and it's totally Green-Eyed Crow. It's totally a different game depending on, and it's not a different game country to country. It's the same game, but the trajectory of the game changes depending on who's playing the game. As Catherine and I said, the producers, the hosts really have no control over the game. They control it in the beginning because let's say you bring like 20 people to a location. None of them know who are going to be the traitors. It's all, they get picked randomly by a tap on the shoulder, 3 people, and they have to, the faithfuls, the rest of them have to like find the traitors before the traitors eliminate them. If you grew up loving the game of Clue, or as I think they say over in the UK, Cluedo, or if you love like murder mysteries, stuff like that, like Agatha Christie, you will love the Traitors, because that is what this is. It's a live game of Clue. And from what we know, I listened to our host over in the United States is Alan Cummings. It's a different host every country, but I listened to an interview with him this morning. I think I shared it on my Instagram stories, where he was saying like these are really intelligent people that come to the castle to play the game, and they end up going nuts. They don't have any connection to the outside world. They get their phones taken from them, their laptops taken from them, their watches taken from them. They are isolated. And they don't know. Like, we're watching the show, and to us it's super obvious like who the traitors are. And to them it's not, though. And so they start that's why it gets psychologically, it's like a psychological experiment, right? Because every little thing they're watching, and something could be so small that a person does that is absolutely just random, and they make it a big deal. And so it's a really great representation of what's going on in our world. It's let's see. Yes, I agreed. I tried the other countries, but it didn't grab me. Yeah. I watched the first season of Australia, and I've been trying to get into New Zealand, but I just can't. It's really hard. And I think a lot of that is because as I said with Catherine, the same production company that films the US also films the UK. So they're under the same production company. So that's why they film in the same location. And it's a Scottish castle. Yeah. Yeah, Alan Cummings is great. And Alan Cummings, you guys, I've been a fan of Alan Cummings for a very long time because Alan Cummings is an incredible Broadway actor. He's an incredible character actor. And of course, he's been in countless movies, but he is very talented. And you can tell the way that he hosts the Traitors. But this season, you guys, first of all, the difference between the UK cast and the American cast is that the Americans only do celebrities. And we're not talking like A-list celebrities. We're talking like reality show celebrities. So no, I don't know, excuse me, as I choke. I half of the celebrities I know who they are, the other half I don't. Excuse me. Because I don't watch Survivor, I don't watch The Bachelor. Frankly, I just watch Bravo. So I know who the housewives are, but I don't know who any of the other celebrities are. But a lot of them are gamers, what they're called gamers. So people who, have won Survivor, people who have won Big Brother. And so they come in, those people come into the game already with kind of a strategy, although I don't really know if you can strategize for Traitors. I don't know if that's really even possible because the game is so temperamental depending on who's playing the game. But the housewives are always comical to watch too because they're on Housewives. Now, obviously, there's some Olympiads. So that I wanted to show you guys. So here is the celebrity traitors that are playing for America this season 4. Now, spoilers, if you don't want to hear spoilers, I'm just going to let you know I might accidentally reveal some spoilers. This is all celebrities. I don't know. I have not seen season 4 of the UK. Hopefully we'll get that soon. But UK is normal people. So what you have with the and a documentary I watched recently, that it was important that the Americans do the celebrities because when they first bought the show from the production company in Holland, props to them for creating this show. They knew that they were going to have to get some fanfare in order to keep the ratings up. So the American cast has been what's carried it for the British as well, until the British people could catch on to the game because England only hired regular people. So they had to cast celebrities in the American series so that the production company would get the revenue. That makes sense, right? It's a business. Yeah, it's a business. And since it's the same production company, so that's why the Americans do we're going to talk about this for sure. Colton, he's a problem. And so that's why they had to use the American celebrities because they knew that people would watch. They knew Americans would watch if they had cast a bunch of celebrities on the show so they could get the ratings up to be able to support the British show until they could get it. Now it's a hit in England. Right now it's a super big hit in the United Kingdom. So that's not really a problem. And they are looking to cast regular people in America now. Yeah, you got to check it out. The UK, well, we're in the middle of season 4 with the US. And I would absolutely, if you have not watched Traitors at all, start with season 1 because you're going to see the evolution because they keep upping the ante because people are becoming such big fans of the show. I would not start with season 4, the season we're on. I'd go back and start with season 1. So this brings us to the Colton problem, as Green Eyed Crow was saying. He is running amok. Now, I was not Green Eyed Crow or anybody. Did you guys watch The Bachelor? Because I don't watch The Bachelor. I don't. So that he was a bachelor. He was on like what, season 23 or something. I tried to do a little bit of investigating on him. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. So can we just be, this might not be politically correct. So I apologize. I'm just going to, this is not, we're not doing a deep dive here. We're just gossiping, right? I need to talk to someone because I'm obsessed with this show. And we're going to talk about Rob. We're going to talk about Ron. We're going to talk about all of them. But this is the main thing for me. I am nervous about Colton. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the show. Yes, Colton, he's becoming extremely problematic and annoying. I only know he was on The Bachelor. Okay, let's talk a little because I was very confused because he's obviously gay and there's nothing wrong with him being gay. Like we don't care, whatever. Just be a good person, which is what we're going to get to. So he went on The Bachelor as a heterosexual. And I looked up, I actually pulled his Wikipedia up, Wikipedia, whatever, but it's good for our show today. So let me actually pull up, let's see here, the Wikipedia page so you guys can see it too. Whoops, did I take my, yeah, I just took my camera off. Let me see here if we can, here we go, Colton Underwood. So let me just read you guys his Wikipedia, then we're going to get to the problem here, what is actually going on in this, hold on, let me take this down first, remove, and then we'll put that up. Okay, so let me go to his Wikipedia page and just read it. You guys can see it for yourself. Colton Scott Brown Underwood, born January 26, 1992, is an American reality television personality and former professional football player. He was defensive end at Illinois State and was signed by the San Diego Chargers as an undrafted free agent in 2014. He was on the practice squads of the Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. After being released by the Raiders, Underwood became a contestant on the 14th season of The Bachelorette and was then announced as the lead on the 23rd season of The Bachelor. He is the first lead in Bachelor franchise to come out as gay. So anyway, I'm going to come all the way down here. So he, personal life. So from 2016 to 2017, Brown Underwood dated gymnast Allie Rainsman. I don't know who that is. After he asked her out in a video, Brown Underwood has spoken publicly about his choice to remain a virgin and how appearing on The Bachelorette helped him discuss this topic. He began dating speech pathologist student Cassie Randolph after meeting her on a season 23 of The Bachelor. When Randolph initially ended their relationship during the final 3, Underwood broke up with the other 2 women and asked Randolph for a second chance without the pressure of an engagement. Underwood and Randolph were in a relationship from November 18 until May of 2020. This is where it gets crazy, y'all. In September of 2020, Randolph filed a restraining order against Underwood, alleging that he stalked her outside of her Los Angeles apartment in her parents' Huntington Beach house, sent harassing text messages using an anonymous number, and installed a tracking device underneath her car. Randolph was granted a temporary restraining order against Underwood ahead of the October hearing. Randolph dropped the restraining order in November, and Underwood stated, I do not believe Cassie did anything wrong in filing the restraining order, and also believe she acted in good faith. He identifies himself as a Christian, whatever that means. Anyway, in 2021, he came out as gay. So this is crazy though, guys, because let me come back to you guys here. All right, he is and I don't watch I don't watch any sports really ever. So so I didn't even know he was a football player. But y'all, okay, so this has kicked up a lot of controversy on the Traitors. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can see like everything's nuanced, right? Like if he was suppressing his true self, I could see how maybe he would act out in some unflattering ways because of that. However, I just okay, when the Traitors started, I didn't know who he was, right? I didn't know. So, but I was watching him. I knew he was gay because you can tell. And normally, as again, this might not be politically correct, but as a straight woman, I feel very safe around gay men. I don't feel threatened by them at all. Like I don't feel like I'm going to be hurt. But watching Colton on the Traitors, I got really uncomfortable. Like I didn't like seeing him on my screen. I got the heebie-jeebies watching him. I felt uncomfortable. Like, and he's in Scotland filming. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. But you know, just that spidey sense you get where you're like, I'm not safe. That's what I felt watching him on the Traitors. Now, I had no idea about this whole like past scandal that he's been in. And it wasn't until things started popping up on Instagram that I was like, I'll be damned. Like I was picking up, I didn't want to be around him. Like he creeped me out. And so I did find, we're going to pull up another Instagram story that I found to kind of explain. Is this the one? Nope, that's not the one. Here it is. To kind of explain what this situation is. So let me put it up on my screen. I'm still getting used to it. And let me go here and we're going to watch this one. So here we go. Whoops.
18-second kick to the nuts of Colton Underwood this week that reminded us all just how sinister his stalking of Cassie Randolph was when it was happening. Burnett opens her takedown of Underwood by saying he should not be on the current season of Traitors before reminding us all that not only did a judge grant Randolph a restraining order against Underwood, but Underwood also put a tracking device on her car, lurked around her family's residence at night, and even created a fake persona that he used to send sinister messages to Randolph and her family, and then even himself to make it appear that he was also a target of his own stalking. Can't thank Demi enough for doing this important work as she asked the question that we're all asking at this point. Why is Colton Underwood still on TV? Why is he getting chance after chance? Her public service announcement garnered 352,000 Instagram views, and get this, 2.5 million views on TikTok. Here's to hoping this video gets brought up in any casting meeting where Underwood's name might be mentioned. Demi published a 4
Okay. All right. So that kind of sums it up. Yeah, his energy is off and unnerving for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, again, people can change. I don't believe in cancel culture. Like people can change. But it's almost like not only did he harass and stalk this woman, but he also Jussie Smolletted the situation too, from what it seems, allegedly. I don't know the full story, but from what it seems, he was pulling a Jussie Smollett as well. Now, again, it could have simply been because he's gay and he, from what it seems like, just reading his Wikipedia, the vibe I got is that he probably grew up in a very like Christian home and maybe he was suppressing it and he's this football player, right? And maybe that's why he acted out in this way. I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but nonetheless, it's unsettling. And it's not an excuse because I know a lot of people who grew up in very conservative families who were gay and never acted like this. Never. Right. And so it's still not an excuse. And there has been some mention by the Traitors cast off camera. Like they've kind of spoken up about it, but I have yet to hear people mentioning the situation on camera. So my assumption is, my speculation is that they're not allowed to, that they've been told not to mention it, which if that's the case, then shame on production. Now, obviously the cast for all intent and purposes is safe. They have production with them all the time. Listen, from what I understand about their filming schedules, once they leave the premises for the day, they each have security guards because they're not allowed to communicate with each other for that purpose alone. And so they are physically, I think, safe. But as a woman, just the feeling I got watching him on screen, I got uneasy and I didn't even know who he was. And who knows what people are worried about once. I mean, we know they're done playing the game. Like they've wrapped a long time ago, but they're airing it now. It's just, it's unnerving. And yes, somebody brought up, yeah, okay, this was crazy. So again, spoiler alert, Colton, he's just vicious. Like, the round tables can get kind of like savage, but there is this like look in Colton's eyes. I can't really explain it. Like, at the end of the day, how savage the round tables get, it's just a game. And I have seen behind the scenes footage of the celebrities. Obviously, I haven't seen with UK, but with the celebrities where they call cut, and they'll be having this like savage showdown at the banishment table, but then they'll start like laughing and cutting up together because they know it's just a game. It's just a game. But the way Colton, like, his eyes, it's piercing in a very threatening way. And let's be honest, like, he's controlling these tables and not in a manipulative way. Like, we've seen people control the tables in past seasons, but they're controlling them as a player in the game. Yeah, they're playing the game well. People in the past seasons who control the banishment tables, they're just good at the game. Colton's doing it, though, in what appears to me, in my opinion, as a very threatening way. And this is, guys, this is the girl that's the woman that he allegedly harassed. Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with him. And so, oh yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's freaky. Like, I would not, honestly, if I were a traitor, I probably would have eliminated him the first day just because he made me uncomfortable. Like, no other reason that I don't want I'd rather have kept Michael Rappaport, who was annoying AF, but Michael Rappaport, I don't think he's not violent. Like, I sense violent energy coming from Colton. Michael Rappaport is just annoying. Like, right? Like, he's not gonna hurt you, but Colton and Michael Rappaport clocked Colton at that round table when they had a showdown, which actually got Michael voted off. And yeah, Michael was annoying, but he clocked him. I mean, even though he got the word commiserating wrong, which we're going to talk about Rob in a second, because that was adorable how Rob corrected him, but he clocked him that he was this violent person, and he kept calling him traitor. Colton's not a traitor. We all the audience knows who the traitors are, but I think what Michael was picking up was this guy is dangerous. Like, this is good. This goes beyond the game. And so my question to producers is, WTF? Did you put him on for controversy to up your ratings even more? You already have spectacular ratings. And there's so many reality stars that are controversial that you could have picked from that aren't violent. I feel like they have put the other cast members, in danger, not necessarily while playing the game, but what happens when they leave the game? When they don't have the security anymore. That's just my 2 cents. But let's talk about the Lisa Rinna thing, because that was crazy. And again, this is spoiler alert, guys. Now, again, we already know, from the very beginning, the audience knows who the traitors are. The traitors are Lisa Rinna, Candace from the Real Housewives of Potomac, and Rob, which we're going to get to, because I think this is the greatest pick of traitors. The dynamics between the 3 of them up to now has been hysterical and iconic, because you've got these 2 middle-aged housewives, very flamboyant, very big personalities, very yes, thank you. Yes, we are if we crash down, that's what's happened, is the power went out. But and then you got Rob, this 26-year-old from Alabama who's a snake handler. He was on Love Island. We're going to get to Rob in this, because Rob has turned out to be almost the comic relief, because he is so good looking. Yeah, and he is really smart. We're going to talk about this. Rob is, I mean, even for me, I'm 40, I'm almost 43. Rob is like 26, 27. And even me, I'm like drooling. He is so good looking, like everybody. Yeah, I did too, Jade. And Michael, he's controversy, but he's not dangerous. He's going to get people watching, but he's not going to hurt anybody. Colton, on the other hand, different story. So Colton did figure out that Lisa Rinna is a traitor. He's correct. He doesn't know that for sure. Yeah, prayers to you guys too. Just make sure you've got generators, blankets. I'm going to go to the store after this as well. So I'm lucky because I'm in a city. So I know that if power goes out, they'll probably get our power turned out back pretty quickly. But please be careful. But Colton has, so a lot of times these cast members, they think they know who the traitors are, but most of the time they're wrong. But Colton is correct about Lisa. Now, he doesn't know he's correct about Lisa for sure. The other cast members don't know because they haven't been given that information. He literally sat in that confessional chair, whatever they call it, and he was like, I'm going to, what did he say? I'm gonna kidnap a traitor. I'm gonna what was the hijack? What was the word he used? It was so creepy. And given his past legal issues, I don't know why he said that. Like, you think that before he went on this show, he would have had media management be like, bro, you need to play it cool. You already have an unpopular view from the American public. Like, don't say anything. That's the fact that he said, I'm going to kidnap or hold a traitor hostage. That was it. I'm going to hold a traitor hostage was really bad form. And the fact that Lisa Rinna could not snap back about his stalking charges shows me that they probably were told they couldn't. And I just, it was really bad form, but nonetheless, I don't know what's going to happen. Apparently episode 7 that's coming up this Thursday is like a real doozy of an episode. So I want to talk about, so I want to hear you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on Colton because I am flabbergasted. To use the celebrity British casting, I'm flabbergasted. Where the guy thought using the word flabbergasted meant she was a traitor, and Alan Carr was like, you can't say someone's a traitor just because they have a better vocabulary than you. But I am flabbergasted. I am shooketh that they put this dude. Yeah, she did, didn't she? And Lisa Rinna, she's a tough broad. If you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she's a tough broad. I felt for her, and I'm not a huge Lisa Rinna fan, but I think she's funny. I think she's really good TV. I enjoy her being a traitor. I enjoy her relationship with Candace. But she did genuinely look a little scared, and I would be too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Colton's big too. Like, he was a football player. He's not heavy, but he's tall and he's muscular. You know, that's the thing about being a woman, a straight woman. Let me know, ladies. Sound off in the comment section. Like, it's kind of like playing dice, you know, because I'm attracted to that. Like, I'm attracted to big and broad, and like, I want a man that's gonna like be bigger than me and can protect me. But that strength can also be used against me as well as a woman. And with Colton, it's intimidating. With Colton, it's scary as a woman. Even though he's homosexual, I just feel like there's underlying anger issues and violence in those eyes. Yes, she does. She's had a lot of oh, you think he rocks? No, I'm terrified of him. I'm telling you guys, my spidey senses, and as I was saying, I didn't know who he was when this started, and my spidey senses went off immediately. Immediately. When he scares me. Like, there's violence in Colton. I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, there is violence in Colton. And I think this lady would probably agree with me because she had to file the restraining. I've been stalked before. It's terrifying when you're stalked. And to find out that you have a tracking device on your car, I just cannot. So if you guys don't know about Colton's backstory, I would absolutely suggest looking at it. Now, I want to, before we get into Rob, you brought up a good point. I was going to talk about Portia. I love Portia Williams. For those who don't know who Portia Williams is, we're going to talk about this. And I felt so sorry for Ron because it was not Ron's fault that he got it wrong at the first roundtable. Okay, so Portia, if you don't know who Portia is, guys, Portia Williams, she's Jose Williams' granddaughter. Jose Williams from Georgia. He was a huge civil rights activist, okay? And Portia got famous. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she does. She's so funny. I've always thought Portia was funny. She's from Atlanta. She was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I would love to be her friend. Like, I know that sounds weird. We live in the same city. Portia, if you have to see this, contact me. I would freaking love to. I think she's hysterical. Like, I think Portia is one of the funniest people, but she doesn't mean to be funny. That's what makes her so funny, is she doesn't mean it. So Portia is a little bit, in the most flattering way possible. Again, I would love to be her friend. This is I think she's delightful, but she's a little ditzy. Like she can be a little bit ditzy. And she says things like she has the slip of the tongue sometimes, and she's not trying, like she's not trying to lie or anything. She just says things that aren't accurate, and she doesn't mean to because she's ditzy. So the first banishment, she got banished, and she said to Ron, which we're going to talk about Ron because I loved Ron so much. I loved him. Yeah, when I killed Eric last night, it was a slip of the tongue. I've got that clip pulled up. I've got that. We're gonna talk about that. I got I got that clip pulled up. Don't you worry. And I remembered that when she didn't know what the end. So that's where my head went immediately back to years ago on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Here she is, the granddaughter of Jose Williams, and they're talking about the Underground Railroad, and she didn't know it was actually not a railroad, which we're going to pull that clip in a second. So that's just Portia. But Ron heard her say, I killed Eric. So he immediately thought she was a traitor. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? So he went to the round table being like, the banishment table being like, I heard you say this. And other people heard her too, but she wasn't. And so Candace, as a housewife, that's the thing as being a traitor. She's not a traitor, but you can't make it obvious. And so she voted for her. So this is what I'm going to pull up. Okay. So I'm going to pull up, this is just Portia. I'm going to pull up the Underground Railroad thing, you guys, that they're oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. We're gonna watch this. Let me go here. I gotta pull it up in the box with me. It's a little bit more complicated on StreamYard than Zoom, so here we go. All right, so this is from the scene that you're referring to about Portia in the Underground Railroad. So here we're gonna watch this, guys.
So they know and they can appreciate what we have now. Well, there has to be an opening for the railroad at some point. Because somebody's driving the train. It's not electric like what we have now.
It wasn't a train, maybe.
Really? Like you really thought like there was an actual train that took them through?
No, I'm saying
it wasn't a train at all. They use it. That is just a euphemism, baby.
Just a figure.
I'm thinking it was like widespread.
No,
it's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb.
That's a euphemism for people that are connected, trying to work their way to freedom.
Right.
Ding dong. He's not talking about put 50 cents on the train or on the damn public bus.
But it wasn't really a train.
you had to sneak to the next spot. You had to hide and hide in the woods.
I know
to the next spot, and this was a
But
spot
I know
for the
that
railroad.
one particular person made it. They actually went down there and
made it.
How did they get it?
Her grandfather, Hosea Williams, just rolled over in his grave.
It's not a real train.
So hold on one second. That, guys, that's Portia. So that's just, she's delightful. I think she is so funny. And she had like a head to head in like the kitchen one evening, and then she got the next morning and they were talking about the issues in the kitchen, and she'd already forgotten about it. Like she is so funny. Like I'm sad she went early, but I don't blame Ron, because Ron had never watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, so he didn't know that Portia's just ditzy, and sometimes you can't oh, I love Nene, cracks me up. Nene's funny. You just can't take what she says seriously. Sometimes she means no harm by it, but it was a slip of the tongue when she said she meant they got rid of Eric, or whoever it was, Ian, whoever it was that night. But the way she said it, it made her look guilty. And I think if there had been a person who had watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta in the room, they'd probably been like, Ron, don't take it seriously. Like, she just had a slip of the tongue. So that's the Portia of it all. All right, you guys. And Ron, of course, I think America has fallen in love with both Rob and Ron. And this was I got emotional watching this scene. So Ron, because he effectively got Portia banished at the first round table. Yeah, I know that is hysterical, isn't it? People were coming for Ron, even though Rob here, he's a traitor. Ron's not. But Rob, he has a little empathic side to him. And Ron was having a really hard time getting to know a lot of the players. But Rob and him really bonded, like genuinely bonded. You can tell there's a genuine starting of a friendship between Rob and Ron. Traitors or no traitors. And I got emotional watching the scene with them playing chess together. Like I got very emotional, and I'm gonna, you can tell that Rob was raised right. And Rob said here, I have this clip where he said when he was in a confessional talking about Ron, he said, sometimes the loneliest place for someone like that is in a crowded room. It makes me emotional. The fact that I saw him truly, and it was one of the sweetest. I'm glad they kept that in the footage because it was a genuine, like I'm still getting emotional about it. It was a genuine human moment between Rob and Ron, where Rob, even though Rob's a traitor and Ron's not, they were having a genuine connection, and you could feel the empathy coming from Rob that he wanted, and the whole goal was, but between the traitors, was to go with Ron being the next banishment, right? And that's kind of what set up the disaster, I think, for this next upcoming episode, because at the round table, Rob wanted to keep Ron around, even though he would have eventually had to have gotten rid of him. He was enjoying Ron's company. I think there was a genuine friendship there. And so on the round table, I think in that moment, Rob picked his friendship over his traitor, his compadre, And I really feel like that's just a very integral side of Rob. And it's so funny, you guys, because Rob has become, he is so good looking, you guys. Like this guy, I know this is kind of a pixelated picture, but he is, so good looking. And it's become kind of a joke. With Johnny Weir, and he said to Tara Lipinski, which we're going to talk about, God, I can't look at him because he's so hot. Yeah, he won. I think he won everybody's heart. And it's so funny because Ron said to him, because Rob's from Alabama, he's a Southern boy, and I'm going to tell you guys, like, listen, he's the hottest guy on the show for sure, hands down. But if you're not from the South, let me tell you guys, that's what Southern guys look like. That is what Southern men look like. Now, I'm from the South and I've traveled the world, and I'm telling you, men from the South, I don't know if it's the sunshine and fresh air. I don't know what it is. Southern men are the best looking by far. Genetically speaking, they are the best looking men in the entire world. I'm telling you, I know I might be biased. Most of the men I've dated have not been from the South. Todd's from everywhere. He's from Florida originally, but he grew up in the military. But this is very typical of what a Southern man looks like. Maybe it's just the sunshine. I don't know. Or maybe you're just raised right. And it's so funny in this episode with Ron, this conversation between Ron and Rob, I'm going to paraphrase. Ron said something really sweet to Rob, and it actually got me emotional too. Ron said, he said something like, "You're a really good guy, Rob. You can tell you really love your family. And you're a really good representation of what the South is truly about," when Ron said that to Rob. And it's true. Rob is an excellent representation of what the good parts of the South are really about. And I've noticed as the episodes have gone on, and maybe I just didn't notice it before, but his accent, his Southern accent is coming out more. And, I've said this before, like in the South, like I feel like my Southern accent comes out from time to time, but I also grew up in a private school where we had teachers from all over the world, and I've lived everywhere. So sometimes my accent isn't as prevalent as other Southerners. But the way that Rob's accent is, there's different types of Southern accents. There's some Southern accents that even I have a hard time understanding because they're so thick. But you have the Southern accent that's very well educated. Hold on one second, guys. Robbie's trying to get out of the room. Hold on one second. All right, go see Daddy. Go see Daddy. Good boy. Sorry, live show. Rob's accent, you can tell he's very well educated. And I think he even said to Ron, like, people think I'm just some dumb guy from Alabama. He's probably the smartest one on the show. If I'm being completely honest with you, he's probably the most intelligent one on the show. I mean, the whole showdown between Michael Rappaport and Colton, where Michael Rappaport used commiserating wrong, and in the middle of the table, Rob was like, "I got to stop you. It's driving me crazy." to commiserate means to feel sorry for someone. And he literally nailed the definition, right? Like very smart guy. And happy you're here as well, Anna. I just really, I felt even more with Rob. I'm literally like what, 17, 16 years older than Rob, but it made my heart happy to see that this is like this is what Southern men are. This is what they are. And we haven't heard Rob talk about his family, but obviously he's talked a lot about his family to Ron, because Ron mentions that you love your family. You're a good representation of what the South is really about. And, people laugh because even like the older women, like Dorinda was like, this is my traitor's husband. And all the women want Rob to like pick them up because he's so good looking. And like Colton, he's a big, strong, that's the difference, right? Like Rob here, big, strong man, big, strong arms. Colton, big, strong arms. I would not be afraid to be around Rob. I think Rob would protect any woman. He's very mild. He's very gentle. Colton terrifies me. Colton terrifies me. And Rob is straight. Colton's gay, but I'm scared of Colton and I'm not scared of Rob. So that's the energy, right? Now I am going to share you a clip of Lisa Rinna because Rob voted against Lisa to save Ron, and that's what's so amazing. And even though Lisa's his fellow traitor. So let me show you a clip I found of Lisa Rinna, post show talking about this situation. Here it is. Okay, now I got to go here. All right, let me add it to the stage. I got to remove this. And then I'm going to add this. Okay, here we go. Let me find it again so I can pull. Okay, here we go. Whoop.
So of course I put my sunglasses on because that was quite an issue. I'm going to start with this. Rob R. He's super smart. What I'm realizing is he's so good looking that people are too afraid to look at him for very long. They just can't. They can't look at him for very long. That is such a bonus for him. I mean, he's totally smart. He's playing the game like unbelievably, right? But he's so good looking that nobody suspects him because they can't clock him for very long because it's too uncomfortable because he's so gorgeous. So I want to say that. And I wanted to talk about Portia. Portia did herself in. I'm sorry, but she did. Ron had facts that were just too good to pass up when we as traders were looking for secret traders. That's why I voted for Portia. And truth be told, I am not a housewife anymore. I was a housewife for 8 years. I haven't been a housewife for 3 years. And I don't consider myself a housewife. I mean, I killed Caroline. Like, I don't care. I'm a traitor. I'm there to be deceitful and murderous. I am not there to kumbaya with housewives. It's a game. It's not personal. I just thought she was an OG of the housewives. She's Portia. I didn't know that she was dumb. That's what everyone's saying. Oh, you should know that Portia's just dumb. Well, I'm sorry. That doesn't work for me. This person wants my parking spot. Anyway, they can wait. Yeah, Colton's a problem. Colton's a big fat problem. But we knew he was a big fat problem then. Just driving it too hard. I wonder if somebody's feeding this information to him. Then he runs with it. I'm actually wondering if Rob is feeding this information to him because Colton probably is so goo goo gaga over Rob. I don't know. Now that I'm watching it. The Tiffany thing was really sad. Tiffany's great. Like, that's the thing. You don't see it coming. Then the group mentality comes in. Oh, wow, my hair. And everybody just like jumps on the bandwagon. It happens so quickly. And I will say, it's so much harder to play this game than it looks on TV. It's hard. I mean, when we were going through that river, that statue was a 75-pound statue. We're running and I'm going through a freaking river in the gross fountain, trying to pick up those things. Like, come on. Especially being myself, Lisa fucking Rinna, doing this shit. It's like humbling, but you got to go all the way with it. I said to Monet recently, I wish you hadn't said my name. While we were doing that challenge, no one had said anything yet. Candace hadn't said to me, Monet said your name. I got a vibe from Monet and I felt it. You know how you get vibes from people and you're like, oh, that doesn't feel right. I had already felt it. I'd already felt this vibe. And what you don't know is like the challenge before when I ended up in a cage, I'd asked Monet to be my partner and he said yes. And then he came back to me and said, oh, I'm sorry. I already had told Natalie I was going to be her partner. Looking back, I go, oh, interesting. So he was kind of vibing me already then. And then during the spear challenge, he vibed me for sure. And I thought, uh-oh, something doesn't feel right. And then literally 10 minutes later, Candace says, Monet said your name. So now they're saying, oh, she's too quiet. Oh, she's too quiet, but she's over the top also. Like, have you met me? Now, I haven't always been quiet, but housewives is a different animal. Yeah. People are coming at you and you have to defend yourself. No one is coming at me right now. So the choice to be quiet mostly is I'm only going to talk when I have something to say. Michael has taken up all the airspace. He was a perfect shield. So I just let him go. But now it's time. Now I've got to be a little more Lisa fucking Rinna from Housewives, I guess. So let's see what happens. You know what? One more thing I have to say, Candace is really a fucking great trader. I marvel by what she can do at that round table. And Rob is great. And I love this team. I love this team of traders. Go team traders. I think it's awesome. Fingers crossed for me. Fingers crossed for me, guys. Toodaloo.
I'm still learning StreamYard, but yeah, so Rob did turn on Lisa, but when someone says, that, yeah, no, I get it. I think Rob is just so good looking. Like he's so ruggedly good looking. I mean, he's probably the youngest one there. I mean, let's be honest, you guys. Like most of the people there are in their like 30s, 40s, and 50s. Rob is the absolute youngest one there. And so he doesn't have an ounce of gray hair and his very thick moppy brown hair. He's got these piercing blue eyes. So he's got this like chestnut brown hair and these blue eyes popping through. He's very, very good looking. And I thought I had his Instagram pulled up. I now follow him on Instagram. And he's just a good old Southern boy. He's a snake handler. Like that's what he does is he's kind of like Steve Irwin was with crocodiles. That's kind of what Rob is with snakes. And he lives in Alabama, the state right next to me. He's probably like 4 hours from where I live is where he lives, I would guess. And so, he spends his days out in the wilderness finding snakes in overalls and in, jeans. He's very muscular. And again, he was on Love Island. I don't watch Love Island, but that's where, because it is celebrity. So that's where he was first got famous. And before he voted Lisa off, I really thought what I said to Catherine, I think he's going to, because him and Candace, now the setup of two housewives and Rob being traitors again is wonderful. They are so funny together because you got these two middle-aged women who are housewives and this young stud of a boy from Alabama as the third traitor. But Rob can do the task and he's clever and he's smart and his eyes are piercingly blue. A lot of blue-eyed people in the South, actually. I think blonde hair, blue eyes is very common in the South, but very blue eyes. He's just impressed me, that whole conversation with Ron. Because think about how much we get an hour show a week and they're filming them all day. So how much ends up on the cutting room floor, really? So I'm glad they kept that in. Obviously, as what Ron said, obviously Rob had spoken about his family. We haven't heard that, but just the praise that Ron gave Rob as being a good boy, like a really, fine representation of the South. And I don't know, guys, I kind of still think, even though Rob turned on Lisa, I think it was smart he turned on Lisa. Even though Lisa's not out, I think that and another, I don't know if Lisa said it in that clip or there was another clip where she said Rob's really, he's really smart. He's playing this. My guess is that Lisa won't make it till the end. I think there's too many people suspicious of her, but I think Candace and Rob will make it to the end or close to or at least to the finals. I think Candace and Rob work very well together. They work very well together. That scene where they got to the turret but it was just Candace and Rob. Lisa wasn't there yet. And they both took their hoods off. And Candace looks at Rob and she goes, "Girl." And he crosses his hands and he looked back at her and he goes, "Girl." Like, it was just so funny. It was so funny watching the way that this 26-year-old kid was communicating with this very flamboyant house. It was hysterical. So Rob is able, that's the sign of high intelligence, that you're able to adapt quickly. So I think Rob has adapted very quickly. I think he's clocked he knows every person in that house now, how they work. I think it's hysterical that the men and the women have crushes on Rob. I mean, both Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir are on the show. Figure skaters. Here's Johnny Weir. You guys know Tara Lipinski. And Johnny Weir was trying to, and Lisa was right. In one scene, Rob walks off and Johnny looks at Tara and goes, "He's so good looking. I can't even look at him. Like, I can't even look at him. He's so good looking." And I think that Lisa's right. He's so good looking that people are having a really hard time making eye contact with him. And it's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. And yes, if you put Rob in the mix with a bunch of other Southern guys, they all kind of look like that, right? But in this castle where there's a bunch of gay men and Rob is straight, he stands out. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You guys, we're almost at an hour and I'm getting a little bit nervous because I'm hearing some sirens going off. And I know I got to go to the store or try to go to the store to get one more thing. So I know I'm going to end this soon. But please let me know. I'm very concerned about Colton. I'm concerned that there's going to be more scandals regarding him. I don't think Rob is feeding Colton information. I don't think that. I think Colton just figured out Lisa was a traitor. It's not that hard to do. But I'm very concerned. I'm not comfortable with the way he presents himself at the round table, even though it gets tense at the round table. It's just a game. And you can tell most people are aware of that, but there is just an energy that comes off of Colton that freaks me the fuck out. And as a woman, if I were playing that game, I would not want to be on a team with Colton. I would not want to be partnered with Colton for anything. He makes me very nervous. I wouldn't want to be in the finals with him. I don't feel safe around him. That's the vibe that I personally get watching it from my TV. So if I'm getting that vibe from the TV, then I can't imagine what it's like in person. And again, isn't it weird? Let me know what you guys think. Isn't it so weird that nobody has mentioned this on the show, the whole stalking situation, but they're obviously all very aware of it because they've talked about it post production? Why do you think? I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't know it for a fact, but do you guys think production told them not to mention the stalking situation? And if so, why? Because this is concerning, because the contestants don't know when they're going to play the game. They don't know who else is going to be playing. They know it's going to be other celebrities, but they don't know who's going to be playing the game with them. So how would you feel like if you knew this about Colton? Like if you knew that Colton had this situation and you pulled up to this castle in the middle of nowhere, Scotland, and you did not have your phone, you didn't have your laptop, you can't call your spouse, you can't call your management, you can't call, and you saw that guy, how would you feel? Like, I feel like production has a responsibility to keep them safe. And I feel like production has a responsibility to make sure that I understand hiring controversial people. I get it. I would hire controversial people too. It's what keeps ratings up. And at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. They got to get advertisers to make money. It's a business. Like anything else, it's a business. I get it. Totally get it. But you can hire controversial people who are not violent, who don't have a history of being threatening. Again, Michael Rappaport, he just got voted off, but he's super controversial. He was a great cast. He was great. They did a good job casting him. He was a disruptor, but he's not violent. He wasn't going to hurt anybody. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think about that, because that is very concerning to me. Like I don't believe in cancel culture. Like, I think people deserve a second chance. People make mistakes. Absolutely. And there have been plenty of people who have reformed themselves. And if I didn't catch a weird vibe from Colton from the beginning, I would be like, great, he's reformed himself. Awesome. He learned from his mistakes. However, because I only know about Colton's issues because I caught a weird vibe from him. Does that make sense? So has he reformed himself? And is this going to hurt the ratings though? Because a lot of people are pissed. As you saw, a lot of people are pissed that they hired him to go on Traitors. So could this potentially hurt the ratings? And again, I get it. Listen, they have to have ratings. Like, this is a no-brainer. It's a business. I think sometimes people forget that about Hollywood and production. There's a lot of shady stuff in Hollywood, but at the end of the day, it's a business. They have to have ratings, right? And if there's no ratings, they have no show. And I think sometimes we just think about the actors on the show, all that, the producers, but there's a lot of other people involved in this. There's gaffers, there's cameramen, lights, there's secure. There's so many people that depend on this show in order to make a living. So we have to consider that. Like, it's not just the high ticket people, right? It's not just the celebrities and the directors and the producer and the host. There are people that work for the show whose children depend on that income to put food on the table. So we can't be out there canceling Hollywood completely. We just got to get the bad apples out, because this is a business that supports people. right? And so with casting, of course, especially since the American production was carrying the British production too. They had to get the American ratings up in order to keep the show going in England before it caught on in England, because it didn't catch on in England for a while. Right? So it's a lot of pressure on the American production. So of course they have to be able to cast people that are going to get viewers to tune in. And in past seasons, they have casted reality show people that don't get along. They put them together to get that explosive energy again, so people will watch. The more people that watch, the more advertisers will pay to have commercials put on the show. The higher ticket advertisers, the more money the production makes. You know, the gaffer makes, the lighting guy makes, the camera guy makes. Yeah. But at what point does it go too far? And did it go too far with Colton? Have they gone too far? Did someone make a mistake with Colton? Should they have casted him? I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. And again, yeah, I don't believe in cancel culture. I think if Colton can redeem himself, amazing. If he can come up and out and talk about it and apologize publicly and redeem himself, great, perfect. Let him have a happy life. Let him be successful. Give him jobs. But the energy I got from that guy, it doesn't feel healthy. I'll check that. I'll check that out for sure. So let me know what you guys think about that. I just, as someone who has been stalked myself, I just, my heart goes out to his victim. Like, I can't imagine what she's thinking right now watching him on TV. I can't imagine the women in the castle who know the story, what they're thinking. And are they panicked? You know? So anyway, all right, you guys, I'm going to hop off because it is getting colder here and I got to go to the store. Stay warm. Again, join us tomorrow if you want to at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Zoom virtual for Ashtanga Yoga. We're going to do half primary series. Just go to sacredgarden.com and you can get that link for a drop-in, for a virtual drop-in. There's no live class tomorrow because of the weather. It's all virtual. So unless the power goes, and if the power goes, you'll get notified. I'll text Cindy right away because obviously I can't do a virtual class if the power is gone. So anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts. Even if you're watching replay, this was just a fun one, a snow day hit. Again, there will be a Mystery Monday I have preloaded to drop at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. So in case I lost power, it would still drop for those, because I know I have such an international audience. For those of you who are not suffering, it's almost 3 hours. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And then we'll be on the lookout for Todd and I doing some lives. If we get snowed in with power and we saw power, we'll probably be doing lots of lives this week with you guys, because what else are we going to do? So anyway, you guys, let's see. Yes, be safe and warm, everybody out there. And all right, you guys, I will talk to each of you very soon. Be safe and stay warm, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.